And hello, everybody. Wow, sorry about that slow start there. We was talking, and they told me it was time, but I wasn't paying attention. I was listening to myself talk, I guess. But anyways, welcome to another fun-filled week of the Grumpy Vlogger Live. So anyways, let's just get this show on the road. We're going to start out with my current, and he's the man with the plan. He's the diminutive puppet master himself, none other than Art Carlson. Hey, and there's Bucky.
Hey, we're here.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, it's really good. How's it going, Lloyd?
Oh, it's going all right, Bucky.
Oh, that's wonderful. Hope you have a great show.
Yeah, well, I hope I do too. We'll see. So,
all right. Any birthdays today?
Do what?
You said any birthdays today?
Not today, there isn't.
Okay.
You missed them over the weekend, but yeah.
All right. Well, I'll get going. Yay, Broncos. Yay.
All right. We'll talk to you later, Bucky. Okay, let's bring in the rest of the crew. And we got somebody well, he's not here, so let's just go ahead and bring in Mr. Dominic, the Thunder from Down Under. Hello, Dominic.
Good evening. Good morning.
And
from a pretty loud food court.
Yeah, it is a little noisy today, isn't it?
A bit rowdy, yeah. It's not normally this rowdy.
Yeah. Well, I like that. What's that hat you got on there?
That's my AFL football team.
The Hawks. Sweet.
They're called the Hawks.
The Hawks. Okay,
Okay.
That's where I got half of my YouTube channel name from.
Yeah. Is that why you picked the name Northside Hawk for your channel name?
Yep. I'm on the Northside, and that's that's the Hawk part.
Right. Yeah, okay. Well, that explains a lot. I wondered where that name came from, so I thought, well, okay. All right, we have another good buddy and the former co-host of this show, none other than Mel from MKRC Bills RC he's 400 AGL, if you guys don't know.
Howdy, guys. Lloyd, John, Art.
How you doing, Mel?
Oh, man, if I was any better, somebody'd make a law against it.
Yeah, ain't that the damn truth?
Yeah, we're above the dirt line.
Yeah, I think they already have outlawed happiness here. But hey, somebody says that's what they're working for is being.
Yeah, they're looking for that.
Yeah, well, whatever. So, anyways, let me see if I can bring up the chat here, or let me start saying hi to everyone. I see a few people. We got Grant, Mr. S. We got Drone Shots, Jody. We got Joey, who's Jay Bird, and of course Dominic and Art and AZ Drone Dude.
Hi, David.
I was, and Waypoint, New England.
Yep. Bryan.
Yep. I wanted to say Brent, but that's Lambo. Yeah. I should know Bryan. I mean,
we went through this last week.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
And did you say I didn't?
I didn't bring. Oh, and there's Captain Joe, America.
Captain Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Tom. Lens capture.
Yeah, I was getting to it. We have East Coast Thrills.
Dusty,
yeah, and Nana's Attic, right? Nana's Attic. My brain's just gone.
That would be Brad.
Yeah. I thought it was Brad, and I thought, no, that ain't right. And then,
there's more than one Brad.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, and we got Mickey the View Moo, and we've got and like you said, we got Lens Capture Online.
That'd be Tom.
God, I know Tom because I talked with him. I've been on panels with him, and For some reason, the old brain just isn't kicking good tonight.
Yeah, I hate that.
I think I've been up too long today. You know, I didn't have. I mean, yeah, I had a couple naps this morning, but I mean, I started my day out. And Steven Drones, that would be Steve. That one's easy.
You think so? Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And let's see. I think that's it for now. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. All right. Anyway, so there we go. So, what have you been doing what do you do this weekend, Art?
Well, I was working on a computer, fighting with it all weekend, and
did you get it fixed?
No. That's why I didn't do anything yesterday, because I didn't want to screw up this setup for tonight. So I did the thermal paste because it was dry as a bone.
Yeah.
I cleaned the contacts on the memory stick, and what else? I think that's about it. Cleaned it all up, put it all back together, brought it in here, and nothing. Oh, I took the video card out. Thought, oh yeah, I could use the onboard video.
Right.
It's the wrong kind of connector. It's not an HDMI port. It's that other digital port that they have.
Right, right.
Kind of like a HDMI port. So
right,
I went back in. I put my video card in from my other machine. Nothing. So I took it out, and I finally put the old one back in. By that time, I was so tired from picking it up off the ground, putting it in this chair, and getting it up on the desk. I said, screw it, I'll do it later this week. After I do Lloyd's show, then I can tear down everything, get back up there.
Right, right.
The first, before I do that, is I'm going to plug it in out in the living room, make sure that it'll go on, because last time I had it here was I got nothing but the light on the button was blinking.
Right.
I'm like, oh shit, something's not going. So it's out in the living room, and it's ready to be tested to see if it doesn't work. I'm going to say screw it, take it to a computer shop and say, here,
yeah,
because I don't have time to do all that.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. And Dominic, how was your weekend?
Well, we've had daylight saving added.
Oh,
everything's now an hour later. For me, it is. Not for the Queenslanders. They don't do daylight saving.
Yeah.
Queensland and Western Australia doesn't do daylight saving. I don't know why. And now we have 5 time zones instead of 3.
Wow.
So the Central Australia, where we've got the Northern Territory and South Australia has gone to daylight saving. They're half an hour in front of Queensland, not half an hour behind. So,
oh boy.
Wow, what a mess. So Mel, what'd you do this weekend?
Well, I spent some time doing some design work on a new suspension lift for an RC truck.
Oh, sweet.
Cool.
And I printed some 3D parts and tested them with the motion activation with the radio control and all that, and everything worked. And then I tore it all apart and started redesigning it again.
Okay.
So
well, we'll hopefully see that someday in the future.
I got a picture I can show you.
Yeah.
Of the new design.
Oh, let's see.
If I get to it.
Okay.
F450.
Yeah, Tom says they have the same issues there in Las Vegas. I remember when I'd be in Las Vegas, I'd be stationed out in Ellis doing a TDY project, and I had to look at what time of the year, because part of the time I was an hour ahead of Arizona, and then part of the time I was the same. And same and with California, I'd have to, because my sister was living in California and I was living in Arizona. So when I'd call home as to my first mistake, and she was still my first mistake. We weren't, she wasn't my ex mistake. But anyways, so she lived in Arizona with my kids, so I'd call her to talk with her every night after I got off work. And then I'd call my sister from the base, sometimes and check on her. And so it was confusing because depending on what time of year I went out there, what the friggin' time zone was going to be. Because actually, I think it was Arizona doesn't change, or is it Nevada?
No, I don't think they do change.
Yeah,
Arizona
so it was Nevada, and my sister was in New Mexico. I knew it was something like that. Or my folks were in Colorado. Anyways, part of the time we were Colorado time, part of the time we were Pacific time, Mountain time, Pacific time, just depending on the time of year. We stayed the same. We were whatever time zone we were in, but they didn't use daylight savings time. That's what it was. So, because I'd go to call it was, I'm still confused, and that's been 50 years ago. Jesus.
We got John, CT Pirate.
Hey, John.
And we got Shifty FPV.
Oh, okay, great.
I think I figured out how to.
Yeah.
I think I figured out how to share that picture, Lloyd.
Okay.
Oh, did you? Okay. Oh, hang on a second. Here, it's down here. Oh no! Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
There we go.
Now, I don't know. I think you can see my mouse on it.
Yeah.
We can.
Okay, so this area right here would be the frame of the truck that it's going to be on.
Right.
The green things, those are the representation of the 4 linear actuators that are going to work like kind of like hydraulic cylinders.
Right.
And then they'll be connected to a lever that sticks straight up on this arm, which will be bolted to the frame with a bearing inside of it.
Okay.
So it pivots on a bearing.
All right.
And then there will be spring shackles that come down to these leaf springs that hold the axle housing in place. So this lift arm will retract and extend, thus making this whole thing rotate up and down, so when you rotate it up, the frame essentially will lower down, and you'll be able to lower the vehicle, much like my other one that I did all the 3D printing parts on.
Yeah.
Hey, TJ.
All of these parts, this lift arm here will be cut on the CNC router and then powder coated.
Oh, sweet.
Out of aluminum.
Nice.
1/4 inch thick aluminum.
Well, I can't wait to see what that one's going to look like.
So, well, I've got another truck on order. It's supposed to ship Tuesday. It should be here by Friday.
Oh, okay.
And I'll probably do the same thing. I'll 3D print prototype parts.
Right.
And check fit and all that, and make sure make sure I'm making everything fit right. And then I'll tear that truck apart and put the parts on it and see how it works out.
Yep. Sweet. Well, I look forward to seeing that next time I manage to get down there to your part of the.
And this one will have
over there, I should say.
This one will have leaf spring suspension instead of coil over shock.
Right.
So it won't have as much flex in the suspension,
right?
But it'll still have a little bit of movement for like going over cracks and sidewalks and whatever.
Right.
But this chassis is going to be 100% intended for on-road or hard surface type use. And and then I won't have to, like for the rear, I don't know if you can tell in the picture, but I made 2 wheels back there because that's the dually rear end for the F450 truck.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the rear on mine, I had to cut the bed out to allow all that suspension stuff up.
Right.
Because it wouldn't fit below the bed. I'm hoping that this design will fit below the bed and below the hood.
Right.
Enough that I can actually even lower the body more on
Right.
the chassis. That way, when I lower the chassis down to the ground, the body will actually get closer to the ground than my original build.
Right.
So this truck will appear to go lower than my original build will.
So you said this is a dually. So this, and I think your other one you said was an F450. So this is going to be a low rider F450.
Well, it's going to be adjustable suspension from the radio.
Okay.
So while you're driving it, you'll be able to raise and lower the ride height of the truck. And then when you park, like if you're going to park it just to show or something,
right,
then you'll be able to lower it all the way down to the ground, kind of like it had airbags or hydraulics on it.
Right. Okay.
Except it'll be
hey, Ronnie,
you won't be able to drive it when it's sitting down on the ground, just like a real truck. When the chop shops put airbags on a truck or a car and they make it set the frame on the ground, you can't drive it at that point.
Right. Yeah.
You have to raise it up to drive it. And this will be the same principle. Once it's setting down, it'll be down. Will
this have incremental height adjustment on it?
No, it's going to be just travel from down to up.
Down to up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And if I had a different radio that had dials, then I could set it on instead of putting it on a switch that makes it just move.
Right.
I could set it on a dial so that you could turn the dial and adjust how far you want it to go.
Okay. All right. I look forward to seeing that. Hopefully you'll have it, because I don't know when I'll get over there. I mean, not like I couldn't just go over there tomorrow, but my days, I never know what I'm going to wake up to.
You could. It's only, what'd you say, an hour drive?
Yeah, it's only an hour drive. You know, but it's just like, well, that means, because if I go to visit you like the last time, I'm going to spend the whole damn day there, which means I need to get up kind of early in the morning to get there, because
you need to get up sometime before 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I see that.
I don't know if you heard what time I got up this morning, but I went to sleep about 8:30 last night. Matter of fact, it was who the hell was I? I was talking to my cousin, I think.
Hey, Jim.
And I said, man, I'm just getting sleepy here. And we were just going, talking nonstop, for which we don't usually do that. We talk for 10, 15 minutes and that's it. But, it's just like all of a sudden we've been talking for an hour or so, and I'm sitting there, man, I started getting sleepy, and I thought, hell, guys, I'm going to have to get off here, bud. I said, I think I'm about to fall asleep. And I did. I hung up that damn phone, rolled over, and I was out.
Well, I was up at 5 o'clock this morning having coffee. So
I was up at 4 o'clock, 4:30 this morning having coffee.
Well, you should have called. We could have shot the shit on the phone.
Yeah. I should have called you at 4:30 to wake your ass up, just to give you a hard time.
I was already awake at 4:30.
Oh, well, okay. Well, anyways, I did manage by 7:30. I finally rolled over and got a little bit more sleep, and woke up at 9:30. And I thought, okay, got up, fixed me another cup of coffee, and watched some stuff on the TV or on the YouTube, and did all that shit.
But then did you gently climb out of bed, or did you slide out of bed like you did the other day?
No. And that reminds me, I haven't told everybody that story.
Oh, you haven't? I was on the phone with him, y'all, when he took a swan dive off the bed.
Yep, I heard about that.
Okay, let me preface all this with. You
should have heard the noise. You should have heard the noise, Art. Crashing and banging and cussing and.
Oh yeah.
So, on my birthday, my oldest son comes over, and Judy and I, when we bought this mattress, we bought it was a double pillow top mattress, so we can flip it. And most mattresses you can't flip anymore. You can turn them from end to end, but you can't flip them. This one you can flip. And I was really needing to, because Judy was so lightweight. Hers was like brand new. My side was wallered out, and I had a spring stick him in the ass every time I sat up, which I think may have been a safety feature had I left it that way. But I'd flipped the mattress and bought some brand new sheets like 1,000 thread count Egyptian cotton sateen sheets. And I was talking to Mel. I was laying there in bed with my feet stretched out, and I was wearing my nylon jogging shorts. So I was talking to him on the phone, and I had his phone up the air, and he wanted to send me something. I wanted to look at on my iPad. So I pushed up and I swung my legs around, and I just kept sliding. Just shot off the bed, and then I'm falling. And at the same time, I reach over and I grab the damn table. Well, it's got a pivot on it, and when I leaned on it to try and stop myself, it flips up. The ashtray, along with a fresh cup of hot coffee, both go flying in the air. Shit's falling. I grab it, and I'm still holding on the table, and I push it again. I hit myself in the jaw, and it was bruised clear back to here. And if it wasn't for the beard, you'd still see the bruise on it. And when I finally hit, I hit on my right side on my hip on the concrete floor, and let me tell you, I had a bruise about that big. I have a bruise still about that big around on my ass cheek. So, and all Mel could hear was shit, fuck, shit, hold on, Mel, shit, fuck, crash, bang, boom. And he kept saying, "Are you okay? Did you fall or did you break something?" I said, "No." I said, "Yeah, I did. My ass. I just fell." Yeah. Well, I said, "I gotta let you go so I can figure out how I was gonna get up." And I mean, I was covered because, like I said, the ashtray, and I hadn't emptied it for the night, so it was full. And then that hot coffee with creamer in it, so it was sticky. So it just covered me and the ashes. And it's just like, I managed to finally roll over and crawl to the end of the bed and pull myself up because I was kind of wedged in there after I fell. And I was sore all weekend because of that, but it was funny as hell. But
so you made an ash of yourself.
I made a total ash of myself, yes. And I got up and thought, I cannot clean myself up. I just decided to go in there and take a long hot bath and because I did, man. It was.
The noise was horrendous. I thought there was a 4x4 truck coming through his bedroom at that point.
And I was cussing the whole time trying, and it seemed like it took 5 minutes for me to go, and it was just a matter of seconds, but I managed to get in 3 or 4 cuss words and a couple,
Yeah, he did that
before I hit the floor, and it's a concrete floor, so I didn't land softly.
That's why you need a nightstand like I've got.
I have it. I do. A nightstand?
It's got drawers in it. My dad made it.
I got one. Yeah, I've got one on both sides of my bed.
Yeah,
but
it didn't save him.
It wasn't. Hell, like I said, I have a hospital table there that runs along that too. That's what gave out, and quite a few choice words as I went down.
Yeah.
Hey, Art, I got a story for you, Art.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. See, seeing I'm officially, used to be when we talk about old people, we just call them old people, right?
Right.
Well, now I actually classify. I turned 65 on Saturday, so now I'm actually an old people.
Well, you are an old folk now.
But anyway, this old guy got this little young girlfriend, real pretty, real young. Gonna take her out to dinner on Friday night. And he'd been dating her for 2 or 3 weeks. He decided to stop by the jewelry store, figured he'd buy her a diamond ring. So they get to the jewelry store, and he tells the clerk, he says, "Yeah, I want to buy my girlfriend a diamond ring." And the clerk says, "Okay." And he pulls one out from under the showcase counter there. About a $200 diamond ring, little diamond. And he says, "No," he says, "that's pretty," but he said, "You got anything bigger than that? More, a little nicer? She's real special." He says, "Well, yeah, I got this one over here." He pulls one out of the cabinet. It's about $1,500. And he says, "Well, that's a nice ring," he says, but she's really special. So the guy figures he'll mess with him a little bit. He says, well, I got one in the back room in the safe. I'll go get and bring it out. So he brings out this other diamond ring, and it's about the size of the Rock of Gibraltar, right? He says, well, sir, he said, this here ring's $12,500. And he hands it to the girl. He says, what do you think of this one, sweetie? And she puts it on, it fits and everything. They don't have to have it resized or nothing. She says, oh, this is beautiful. I love this ring. So he hands it back to the clerk. He says, all right, here's what I'll do. So I'll write you a check right now. I know it's Friday night. I know the banks are closed, and I know it's too late, but Monday you can call the bank, verify the funds, and then Monday afternoon I'll come pick up the ring. And the clerk said, well, okay, this ring been sitting in the back in the safe for a couple months, so I guess sitting for the weekend ain't going to hurt it. So away they go. He goes to dinner, and, you know, well, Monday morning comes and the clerk calls him up and says, Mr. Jones, he says, this is Ralph from the jewelry store. He says, oh, hey, Ralph, how are you? He says, well, I'm real good. He says, but I bet you know why I'm calling. He says, yeah, I know that check ain't no good. He said, yeah, the bank said the check's no good. So, you know, you're not going to be able to buy that ring. The old boy says, well, that's all right. He says, but he says, just imagine the weekend that I had.
I could see where that was going.
Yeah, I thought that's where it was going. But yeah. Shifty Fly said, that Judy is laughing. I swear to God, I heard her laughing when I hit the floor. And that was the first thought that popped in my mind, because she felt like that all the time, and then managed to get up and carry on. She banged and bruised and everything, and I was about in tears. I was wanting to cry. And it's like, you know, she just cussed a little bit and, you know, just get me up, would you? It's like, but yeah, so yeah, it was that was a good joke, Mel.
Yeah, just think of the weekend I had.
That's what I was thinking. He's going to get lucky. Yeah. Oh, anyway, hey guys, don't forget, top of the hour.
Yeah.
A real drone show.
Drone Nation, a real drone show. You know, but
without the entertainment.
Yeah, I went out to the cemetery today to visit Judy, and it was because I got a late start. It was getting close to their closing time, you know, and so they were finishing up a burial they just done and everything. And one of the guy, I guess he's the administrator of the cemetery. He comes walking through there. He's coming to check on the guys, because getting them to go start putting their stuff up. And I come walking by, and he said, good afternoon, sir. And I said, well, good afternoon. I said, how you doing? He says, oh, I'm doing fine. These boys are keeping me busy. And I said, that's good. He says, I got to tell you, I really like that shirt of yours. I said,
now, Lloyd, you missed your opportunity to use the line I told you to use.
Oh, hell, I forgot.
I said, next time you're at the cemetery and somebody walks by and says hi, you're supposed to look at them with a real surprised look on your face and say, oh, hell, you can
You're
see
alive.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have done that. I was about, my mind's been in a fog today for some reason. But anyways, so it's
fog.
A fog.
More than a fog.
Yeah, it's like, you know, a low ceiling, no visibility. Visibility is less than half a mile. So anyways, he said he liked my shirt. He said his wife had gotten him one. I said, yeah, so I got these bright ones so that, you know, I said, I'm getting to that age now that we get confused and lost. And I said, my kids will just know, look for the bearded old fart with the real bright Hawaiian shirt. That's my dad. And he just busted up laughing. He says, that's a good point. And he says, because that one you're wearing is quite the beacon. But he likes it because, you know, they're just, people are just dying to get in. Yeah, they are. You know, that's the nice thing about being a grave digger. You're always the last one to let somebody down.
Yep, that's right.
And while on that point, I reckon there should be a a funeral service for people's sporting teams that don't do well, so that if you vote for a team that hasn't won in many years, you should get them to put you in the burial plot, because they can let you down one last time.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I want
We make a
somebody
joke about that over here.
I want somebody to use my phone and text all my friends and say, "Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's yeah, it's
But they do it holistically.
When I was in junior high and high school, I intended to become a funeral director. And
the competition was stiff.
Yeah, it was. And but the thing is funeral directors tell some of the funniest damn jokes about shit some of the best stories about stuff they did.
Yeah.
And my uncle, who was a funeral director for a funeral home in Denver that used to be called Noonan's Funeral Home, and he worked for them. And matter of fact, his buddy that they started on the ambulance together ended up owning it and then finally selling it to whoever owns a big conglomerate now. But there was one time that they both showed up at this house as an older lady, and they got her loaded up and loaded in. And my uncle was driving the pickup hearse, the body transport, and the other guy was just driving the car, and they were trying to see who could get back to the funeral home first. Well, my uncle was doing pretty good, he made a turn a little bit too sharp, and the wheels fell out, the supports fell out from under the damn gurney, and it flipped it up sideways up against the window. So now he stopped over off the side in traffic, over off the shoulder of the road. And because it flipped that way and he could only get out from one side, he's up there and, he has to open it up, and then he's trying to get this, and everybody's just staring at him like, what the hell is he doing to that body? Well, they got it back there and they got it unloaded, and, he had to pay his buddy like $10 or something because he lost the bet. A few days later, the funeral director, the embalmer, come in and says, "Hey, anybody want to explain how this bruise got on there? Because it wasn't in the pictures or anything of when that you took with this. What happened? Oh, I don't know. She might have fallen out of bed and it hadn't showed up yet.
Oh yeah.
Because a body will show a bruising. If it. When it's let's say fresh.
Yeah, the blood will actually settle to whatever side the body's laying on, and that'll look like a bruise.
Yeah, but
it's got a medical name. I don't know what it is, but I can't either. It's called gravity bruise, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and hey, Andrew, you brought up something. Let's not forget the people in Florida with
right
again.
Oh. I tried calling my aunt today, and all I got was a busy signal. So I'm hoping she's gotten the hell out of there, because she lived there in the Clearwater. Saint something or another down there on that side, and it's headed right in her direction. So blood pooling. Thank you, Andrew.
Blood pool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Like the movie that you like to watch.
Yeah.
Blood pool. Dominic got it. That's good. And that hurricane's going to hit right in the same place.
Yeah,
as the last time.
Yeah,
except it's going to be stronger.
Right,
possibly a Cat 5.
Last time is what, and it's already a Cat 5 now.
Oh boy!
They said this is only the third Cat 5 that's been in recent history. Or that this one is already a Cat 5 now. Now it may go down, but they're talking. They said the last one ended up with about 2-foot storm surge. This one, they're expecting it really to have a 12-foot storm surge.
Wow.
What do you call them? The last one, the one that hit the Panhandle, or the last one that hit the West Coast?
Well, the one that just happened a week ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
that made landfall way up in the Panhandle, west of Tallahassee.
No, well, part of it. It hit
That-
it. My
that
aunt
was the-
lives in Central Florida. And
The
she
outer
got-
bands brushed along the whole state as it went up there, but the hurricane hit
Yeah, Helene. Yeah,
west
Yeah.
of Tallahassee.
yeah. Well, she ended up with 20 inches of water in her place.
This one's going west to east, and it's going to cross right over the center of the peninsula.
Right,
Yep.
and that's where she lives at. Is right. The peninsula is up on top. That's the Panhandle. The
Panhandle.
Panhandle. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, she
You
lives
don't
right
know
there
your
in the center.
Peninsula from your Panhandle. You old bum.
Anyways, she
You
got
can call
20
it the
inches.
skillet since the top is the Panhandle.
Yeah. Her house was pretty well totaled out, and she's not living in it right now. She was staying with a friend, and I'm hoping they left because the storm surge, which was 24 inches, they said when it hit on that area of Florida, because of the width of that storm. But this one is slower moving, and it's going to bring in a lot higher storm surge. And they said there's no escaping the storm surge. I said, you can't outrun it. You can get away. You might be, if it's just rain or something, you can get away from it. The wind, you can kind of, hunker down. But these 10 and 20 foot storm surges, you ain't getting away from. That's going to wipe out,
And what's bad about it is Tampa Bay is pretty shallow. So that water is just going to, it's like a funnel. It's just going to, all that water go up there and right into the Hillsborough River and up that way. And oh boy, it's going to be bad.
Yeah, I was wanting to see, trying to look on the map to see where it's at.
It's about the center of the Gulf right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it came across there at Tallahassee. So, and she lives further south, like
just south of the Tampa Bay. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, and she lives further south, but she got, like I said, and she was just hit by whatever that one that went through last year or year before. Yeah. So she had just recovered from that one when this one came through, So
it already is, Andrew. Some places in Florida can't even get flood insurance anymore.
Oh yeah. 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 Well, and the thing is they, yeah, but they're all going to get $750.
Yeah.
Only as a loan.
Well done.
Yeah.
Only as a loan. And you know what? Yesterday, Comrade Kamala said that they were giving Lebanon $165 million.
Yep.
Or 165 million, which gives that makes the total 378 million for this year. And but they can't give any to American people that lost everything.
Right. I know.
And over the last 4 years, they've given 1.2 billion via FEMA to Homeland Security for illegal people in this country.
Right.
But yet, yesterday or day before, Mouthie Orkey said that no money came from FEMA to support the immigrants.
Right.
Yeah. And they've got a conflict. They got conflicting reports. Yeah. Yeah. But hey, I know I said hi to Shifty FPV, and I didn't officially say hi to Andrew or
Michael. Cool cat.
Yeah, Cool Cat's here. Mark.
Jim.
Mark White is here, as well
Mark
as Jim
White.
Droning, and who else is? Oh, Cool Cat. Yeah, I think I got everybody.
Yep.
Yes,
Just wanna make
Andrew,
sure I
it is
said-
true about the $750.
Yep.
You have to use an app with FEMA to go online and apply for it. And so far, something like 60% of the people that have applied, don't quote me on the percentage, but a huge number have been denied the $750. And it's in the fine print where you don't know you're agreeing to it that you have to pay it back. And if you don't pay it back, then they can seize your land.
Or they'll,
That's what they're saying.
Or they'll take it out of your income tax check.
Yep.
But anyway, it's a loan. It's not just
Cool
here.
Cat
We're from
says-
the government. We're here to help. Like Ronald Reagan said, that's usually where your problem starts.
Right. Cool Cat says, you say immigrants, but I believe the correct terminology is Democratic voting bloc.
Yeah.
And my cousin calls it, he calls them Democratic voting slaves.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
You know, so pretty much the same idea.
Well,
Yeah.
all I know is if anything ever happens to anybody that gets to watch this video later or listening to it now, if FEMA wants to help, tell them to go pound sand.
Yeah.
Don't get involved. Just like the unions, 40 years ago, FEMA was a good thing. 60 years ago, unions were a good thing. Today, they ain't worth a hoot.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Canadian government gave people $2,000, which was like maybe 500 American, but you know, and they made them pay it back, and they probably made them pay it back in 2,000 American dollars just to say they got their right amount.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, you got to build back better.
oh yeah.
Yeah. I
You
can't
know,
believe
last
it.
time-
Not
for you.
butter.
Last time hurricanes hit the west coast of Florida, there was 3 of them. Once a week for 3 weeks, just about a little over 3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 hurricanes back to back. At that time, a friend of mine and I were talking about buying a 65 to 75 foot fishing boat. He was going to send me to captain school, and I was going to captain the boat and make it a charter fishing boat. We were going to go down like the week after the first hurricane hit. We had our plane tickets and everything to go to Florida to look at 3 different boats. Then the hurricanes hit, so we canceled our trip. After the third one, my buddy, the money guy, he said, yeah, I think we'll skip this idea.
Yeah.
I said, the only thing to do with a big boat in a hurricane is go out to sea.
Yep.
You can survive it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what Cool Cat put up. Yeah. You know, that's the thing. They just it's been FEMA has been a joke ever since. Well, ever since they start, when Homeland Security is what the problem is, when they put so many different groups under one blanket.
And we don't even need Homeland Security.
No, all they really needed to do was correct the rules of that each division had with communications, you know. And it's really
we could get rid of DHS, we could get rid of FEMA, we could get rid of the IRS.
Yep.
We could save so much money in our government just by cleaning house and getting rid of a bunch of the
bureaucracy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. The bureaucratic things, get rid of that.
Yeah. Yeah. FE mismanagement. Yeah. Yeah. It's just a joke. And what's sad is, you know, okay, there's sometimes like, well, all right, who cares about little things? But when it comes to people's lives like this, you know, it's time to, that's just not right.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not right for American citizens to be treated this way.
Right.
We got veterans that are homeless. We're not taking care of the veterans. We've got.
And also, FEMA is blocking Starlink from getting their product to the people in North Carolina that they don't have a way to communicate.
Right.
And I mean, they said
there's people They said there are people that are still up in the mountains that still don't have any
water, food,
yet.
Shelter, electric.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. Well, and they're probably the ones that have learned, if they're up in those mountains there in the Carolinas, them's mountain folk, they probably already know how to take care of themselves. But yeah, they're having
you can bet they've got fires going and meat cooking. They're eating better than we are.
Yeah, they're not starving, but I hope not anyways.
I won't say they're not starving or they're eating better than we are, but
yeah, I'm hoping not. Hope it ain't just a bunch of city slickers.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill. Coast drones. But yeah, so I'm a little concerned about my aunt. I'll try calling her again tomorrow and see if I can catch her. But it was just busy signals 2 times I tried. So it may be just the cell service is down, in her area. And she may not even have a cell phone. Hell, that might be her home phone.
And by the way, there's a communication method. Currently, it only works for text messaging, for SMS.
Right. But
it's something to sell. It's from the what's that new internet service that Musk put up? What's it called?
Starlink. Oh, Starlink.
It's from the Starlink satellites.
Yep.
And it's satellite to cell text communications. But you have to turn it on in your cell phone.
Yeah,
doesn't matter what kind of cell phone you have. If you turn that on in your cell phone, you're supposed to be able to use that to text via satellite. You don't need a satellite phone anymore. Elon Musk is making satellite phone a thing of the past.
Yeah, right? This thing right here, of course, it's the iPhone 16, which is my new toy for that, and my new Apple Watch 10 that they can con me into buying. But anyways, this thing, when I go to shut it off, I hold the button in to shut it off, and it brings up, do I want to send an SOS? Do I want a satellite? Is a satellite emergency? An SOS through the satellite, or do I want to call 911? Or do I just want to power down? And it gives me 3 options. And the satellite and the direct to cell from Starlink, but
that's what it's called.
Yeah, and it's on my new phone, and one of the last upgrades, I think when they went to iOS 18 here a couple weeks ago, is when that there was an update where phones got temporarily stuck in SOS mode. Yeah, I think that was right, that like the day after the hurricane or the same day. Right.
Because they were trying to activate, the FCC authorized that to be opened up that day, and it wasn't supposed to start until next year or something.
Right.
But they tried to get it pushed through and get it opened up so that the FCC did, so that people would at least be able to text.
Yeah, they just did an update yesterday on some of the Apple stuff, because they were on iOS 18 and now they're on iOS 18.1. So and that was one of the things listed was the SOS thing. Their cool cat just wrote just that exact thing. 18.1 sorted it out. Yeah. Yeah, so that's good to know.
And then all the areas over there that had no cell towers or anything, they had no internet service.
Right.
Donald Trump called Elon, and the next day there was a truckload of Starlinks delivered around over there.
Yeah. He's jumped right into the he's jumping in on this, and
right.
And that's what's really going on is the people that are helping, it's not the government that's getting this shit done. It's the American citizen that's doing it. This, the individual. Yeah.
And something else.
0.1. Yeah.
I don't know if everybody, I don't know if I'm shouting or not. I'm kind of far away from my microphone, but I'll try not to shout. Something else that I thought was kind of interesting is the two people running on the right side, their initials. Think about it. DJ Trump and JD Vance. The D and the J.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody pick up on that besides me?
I hadn't thought about that, but yeah.
That's a pretty trivial thing. So even a simple mind like me can figure that one out.
Oh yeah. But yeah. We're moving right along. It's almost.
It's almost time. Man.
Getting almost time here at the top of the hour.
Just waiting for that notification.
Yep. Drone Nation will be sending out their notification and we will be out of here then. So,
Yep.
But yeah, I think I haven't had a good nap this afternoon, but what happens is my son, who is a police officer, he carries his phone in his front pocket. Well, he's on my plan, but he pays for his own phone and pays me for his phone service and all that. We did it back when he got divorced from one of his two wives. I don't remember. He hasn't divorced the second one yet, but that may happen, may not. But anyways, so we've just had him on there ever since he divorced his first wife and just never changed it. So he said, Dad, I'm needing to get a new phone. He says, but I don't want to change the plan. So can we go over there and check? So I wanted to wait until I knew all of my stuff was off and I knew how much my bill was going to be before I did any changes to anything. So this weekend we went over there and it took them 2 hours to transfer all the shit that I have on my phone over to my new phone. And so I had an iPhone 13 Pro and I upgraded to the 16. And then it took him about less than 10 minutes to transfer all the stuff off of his iPhone 7 Plus. It only had a 28 gig memory in it, over to my now spotless, clean, brand new looking iPhone 13. So, and I asked him today how it was doing. And he said it's great, but he's still getting pissed off because he can't figure out some things on it. I said, that's okay. I can't figure out things on mine either, I said, but so when I started this phone up, when you get a new phone, a lot of times you have to add the apps and re-download everything. When I started this phone up, it was just like I shut my other one off, couldn't tell any difference. All my pictures, everything was there. So
that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yep.
That's the way it should be. So basically what they did is they just cloned this phone and transferred it all, over to the new one, or cloned the 13 and transferred it to the 16. So, and I've already ordered the case for it, and it came in yesterday.
Cool.
So
yeah, that case will do a good job of protecting it if you drop it.
Yeah, well,
I should say when you drop it.
When I drop it, because
it's inevitable.
Yeah, but this glass is all part of the frame, so it's got it has a 2-part. It's got protective glass on the back and on the front, and then I bought a watch band because I don't like that. I got a leather watch band because I don't like that damn rubber one they give you.
Rubber?
The metal one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now I went with the leather one because I don't like the rubber one that was on there. You know, I didn't like, so I went ahead and cost me $10 for a leather wash band. So
Well, you need one of these, Lloyd. For all those jars you can't friggin' open.
I have got a thing that, believe it or not, it's an old mechanical device, and it's got gears in it that go back and forth, and it opens up these jaws underneath. You set it on there, and then you turn a big T handle on top, and it just grabs hold. And it's from the 1940s. It's something my mother had before she ever married my dad, and it's old as the hills, but it works still. And
I've got a jar opener that's at least that old, maybe older in the design.
Right.
Yeah, it's got a wood handle about that big around, about that long, and a big piece of metal at the end, and you swing it.
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
That opens every jar I ever try.
Yeah. I try to open them without parts of glass being in them. That's the problem.
Well, you got to have some excitement.
That's true. Let's see. Yeah, you can do the two ways, either through the cloud or just putting the.
Yeah, that's how I do mine with my Android. If I get a new phone, I log into my account with the new phone, and it automatically downloads everything from the cloud.
Right. Well, I didn't want to have to redo all my, and I just said, can you? And so they just set them next to each other and let them do their thing. So
right.
You know, and everything. It took longer. Well, it would have taken me. I'd still be trying to download shit on that thing and getting it all established and But
well, Lloyd, that's because you're not a professional.
That's true.
If you did that all day, every day, you'd be doing through it like lickety split, just like they do. Right.
Well, what they did is they just transferred straight across. So that was, phone to phone. And
that's what I mean. You'd be.
Right. I mean, if I was having to bring it home and download all the shit from the cloud, all my different stuff. Now I wanted it all set up so when I started it up, it looked like my same old phone. But I gotta admit though, it's got some nice features. It does shoot 4K at 120 frames. Yeah. Yep, we got about 2 minutes to go, fellas. So y'all might want to start heading over there and tell them you said hi from my channel. I'm probably going to go in and lay down and go to sleep because I decided instead of waiting until after the show and then being wound up, I would take my pills in that 5-minute countdown. And so I had my pills ready, and so I've already had my bedtime pills, so I'm ready to go to bed.
Oh, okay.
But the government has all your stuff in the cloud and transferred easily. Yeah, that's about the truth of it. Yeah. Yeah. So now I use DuckDuckGo as a web browser and as a search engine. Because Google will
track you.
Will track you, even incognito mode. So I guess I need to contact him because I used that quite a few times when I was doing Greg's show, and so I need to see if I've got money coming to me from that lawsuit. I might get 75 cents out of it if I'm lucky.
There you go.
You said duck, duck, go, and I almost grabbed the shotgun. Duck, duck, go.
It is a stupid ass name. I don't know why they came up with it, but that's what they came up with. So anyways, gentlemen, it has been fun tonight. I've enjoyed it. I think we had a good show. Mel, you're always welcome back.
Well, thank you for inviting me this week.
Yeah, and I'll send you one next week if you can come on. How's Tammy doing today?
Pretty good. She worked today, and that's the reason I was up at 5, and I'll be up at 5 again tomorrow.
All right. Well,
but tomorrow's Friday for her, so.
Oh, okay. All right.
And there's the notification.
And there's a notification. All right, guys. I want to say goodbye. Y'all have a good week. Those of you out in that part of the country where the hurricanes and nasty weather's at, be safe, okay? And try to reach out to somebody if you know somebody who might be there to see if they're okay. Anyways, see you guys next week, everyone.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Good night,
Yeah.
everybody.